Let's explore autistic history and the Autism Wars. We are now on part 38 in the series. We're going to start seeing some more pushback here in this era with autistics being at autism conferences. So this I'm sharing with you still from the Autism Network International, the development of a community and its culture by Jim Sinclair in 2005. And we're going to start seeing some patterns again that we're used to in the Autism Wars. In fact, I was just on TikTok the other day looking at comments on another advocate's video, and the Autism Wars are still alive and well in 2023 and still running in the same divisions of fronts, the Autism Wars fronts. The lines are pretty much the same as they started out being in the 60s. Just the names of people are different now because the original researchers and founders of these organizations have since passed on. So we're going to pick up here underneath the subhead of good news and bad news. It was empowering for us to work together on ways to make the conference experience better for autistic people. It was refreshing to be given an opportunity to decide what topics we wanted to see presentations about, and to have autistic presenters. Okay, speaking on substantive issues rather than being put on display as self-narrating zoo exhibits. I mean, really, who wants to just be a self-narrating zoo exhibit, right? We're human. But it was exciting to plan for a larger live gathering of ANI members than had ever occurred before, including attendance by at least a couple of people from outside North America. But this was not our conference. A parent-centered organization and university department were in control of the event. When the organizers first contacted me, they had indicated that ANI would be a full partner with them in conference planning. Ooh, yeah, right? That was just the first of many promises they failed to honor. During the months of conference planning, they consistently excluded ANI from planning meetings. You see this pushback? The gaslighting? This is mid-90s, I think now, 94, 95, and these patterns are so well established by now. All right, so during the months of conference planning, they consistently excluded ANI from planning meetings, even from those aspects of planning that directly affected our strand of sessions. Their behavior towards us ranged from condescending to controlling outright dishonesty. Yeah. Feel familiar? Ooh. It says here, at one point during the conference planning, one of the organizers told me that the conference was only for high-functioning autistic people and their families, and that I should instruct low-functioning ANI members and their families not to attend. I am proud to report that I disregarded this instruction. At least one non-speaking ANI member did come to the conference with his parents, and they attended the sessions in the ANI strand, and they later became regular participants at Outreat as well. Again, that's AUTREAT, kind of like autism and retreat put together. All right, so difficulties with the conference organizers continued during the conference. Several of our members were treated rudely or condescendingly by conference organizers, and there was more attempted interference with peer support among our members. As usual, when ANI members use conferences as occasions to get together, some people who came had very little money, could not afford hotel rooms, and could not afford the high prices of meals in the hotel restaurant. Yep, we're still experiencing that same divide today. Autistics living at poverty levels and not able to attend these conferences because of the astounding costs. All right. But we have some autistic to autistics and ally support here. So, and as has been the case since the founding of ANI, members of our community did their best to look out for each other. Some of our less impoverished members had donated a supply of crackers, peanut butter, pasta cups, and microwavable soup cups to make sure nobody starved. The hotel management had no objections to our keeping this box of food behind the ANI exhibit for low-income autistic people to take as needed. But the university conference coordinator, who did not work for the hotel, but for one of the conference co-sponsors, so it's a co-sponsor of this conference, tried to forbid us to give food to hungry people. At one point, she was screaming at me that we had to remove the food immediately because the hotel wouldn't allow it, even as hotel employees were bringing us an extra table to put the food on. At the conference, the organizers barely acknowledged ANI's contributions, even though our sessions were well attended and well received by many parents as well as autistic people. An unhappy discussion occurred on the ANIL. This is the listserv. Interestingly, it was mostly parents who expressed indignation over the lack of acknowledgement of ANI. Those autistic people who had been heavily involved planning our part of the conference and had other complaints about the disrespectful and paternalistic ways we had been treated. One day, the president of the conference organization phoned an ANI member. Hang on to your seat here. It's surprising to them then, but it's not surprising to autistic advocates now. This fierce pushback and opposition. Right. Okay, so one day, let's get to the spilling the tea. The president of the conference organization phoned an ANI member and verbally abused her for sending a post to ANIL expressing disappointment about how the conference organizers had treated ANI. ANIL is a private forum. Every member agrees to a confidentiality policy. The conference organizers were not members of ANIL. We never did find out who leaked the post, but the entire ANIL community experienced a loss of trust in the security of our online home. Yep, I better wrap it up here. We'll come finish this section off in the next video, but this infiltration into our autistic spaces by those who know they don't belong there still happens today. It happens all the time. If you think this grief and frustration gets any better anytime soon, it doesn't. It just gets more and more ingrained, and it gets far more difficult to deal with in these days. But wow, self-narrating zoo exhibits we shall not be, right? Oh goodness. All right, well, thank you for joining me to learn a little bit more about autistic history and the Autism Wars. We're going to come back here to this article and talk a bit more about the pushback from these conferences to autistics and the ANI folks. Yeah, we're used to this now.